We'll start again. What's up, everyone? It's Bobby Gray here with another Tuesday night edition of our Miners Update. Thank you so much for joining. 310 of us here tuned in and ready to learn all there is to possibly know about what's new and exciting in the world of mining TexitCoin. I want to say hello and good evening to my other co-hosts, co-panelists, guests, people that have joined me for another Tuesday night. Where's Mckaylin? Mckaylin's supposed to be out there somewhere too. Let's search for her. Mckaylin is not connected to the call yet. Maybe she is, and she's just hiding under some fake name. All right. What do we have to share with you to get things started? Oh, there's Fast Eddie. Hi, Fast Eddie. Robbie Roo, I had to unmute you. I had to turn off your video because you were picking your nose or something.
Oh wait, my video is still disabled.
Yeah, let me re-enable. Ask to start your video. There you are. Gotcha now. Okay, well, thanks everyone for joining, and thanks to the 360 other people out there that are tuned in. Where do we start? There's so much going on. I don't even know where to start. I guess I'll start with the obvious. I'll share my screen and show you guys the dashboard where you can see we smashed through yet another milestone last week at $7.12 million. That's obviously a huge accomplishment. I think Gaige is going to talk in a few moments about to what we owe that amazing pleasure so far. Real quick update on the dashboard. We are making some really serious changes, and I'm very happy with it. But one of the things we're doing is we're simplifying the use of funds chart. You know, we've got 6 major things that we spend our money on: promotion, our overhead, our mine development, our liquidity, and also our commission. And so now you can see those things simplified. The next step for us from here is to actually give you the ability to click on these things so you get a actual transaction list of anything and everything that goes into these numbers. These numbers are not made up. They're driven by a function in the back office that we call proof. And so if you log in as an administrator, you see all the proof stuff here. And so every time there's a sale, every time there's a transaction processing fee, every time there is money that we spend on hardware, we don't have it all documented yet, but we're tracking it down rapidly. And we're far enough along that we feel comfortable putting a website update here so you can actually see the data more easily. Again, broken down into the 6 primary things that we spend our money on. Commission, promotion, and mine building are the 3 major ones. But again, it's not just that. It's also liquidity and overhead, where the money goes to support our development efforts and keep us moving in the right direction. 21,350 miners have joined us so far. The majority of those are in the United States and or Texas. And we're going to work on getting more details here so you can see where the other countries are that we're doing really well. The mine is rapidly approaching 10,000 gigahash, or 100 million, or sorry, 10 million megahash. You add another 3 zeros on the end there, and you can convert your gigahash quickly over to megahash. And that's a really important thing because, again, we're building a mine. And we all know that we're going to build this mine to this gigantic size, so big that the world can see who we are, know who we are, so big that we're taking a big chunk of the Litecoin and Doge blocks, so big that we've got a reliable and sturdy, robust, decentralized network mine on which we can run these mission critical applications. So that's all coming. But what you may not be completely aware of is that as the mine gets bigger, the output in TXC per day per 100 megahash gets smaller. It's a very simple math equation. So if you jump on at 995 and you grab 100 megahash, the minimum amount that you can pick up as you join, you have 100 megahash over the total size of the mine. So if the total size of the mine comes up on something like 10 million megahash, you can do the math on it and say, okay, I've got 100 over 10 million, lots of zeros there. which means you have not 1%, not a tenth of a percent, a hundredth, but a thousandth of the daily mine output. So if the daily mine output is 95,000 coins, it's going to give you just slightly less than one TXC per day. Now, a bunch of stuff about that. I'm not going to waste too much time here because we've got to get into our updates. Excuse me. But again, as the mining gets bigger, if you pick up 100 mega hash and you don't help build or grow, then the output of TexitCoin per day that you get will decrease. And if you want to know more about exactly what the math is and how we get to there, you can jump onto the help desk and do a search for, geez, I don't know. Let's search for it and find out how we can find it. um, you can do the math for it. It is in the basics category. Getting started, TXC basics. No, it is in the TXC basics. Mm-hmm. 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 I don't know. I'm gonna find it here. We'll come back to it in just a second. Anyway, it gets smaller, and that's by design. And the reason for that is because we want the people that are doing the most to help us build and grow to have the lion's share of the daily TXC reward and also the lion's share of the mining hash power. And so you're encouraged to get out and help us build and grow by referring and sharing our story with friends, family, and colleagues. But if you don't do that, your mining output's going to get smaller, 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 smaller. Now, for the people that are just joining us right now, they're going to see a slower decrease than the people that joined us like on day one. Imagine if you joined on day one and you were the first person mining 95,000 TexitCoin per day. And then on day two, somebody else joins and you get your output cut in half and it goes from 95,000 all the way down to like 47,500. That's a big decrease. And so the two charts that you can look at to understand this on the website that really kind of show what's happening well is the average TXC per miner and the growth of the total miners. And so you can see as these charts kind of like go in opposite directions, the average per miner shows you the reward decreasing per seat and the number of miners increasing over time. And so as more miners come into the community and our hash power continues to increase, the output per miner or per seat is going to continue to get lower. And again, that's by design. And so one of the things that we want you to focus on as that's changing is how exciting it is that our community is growing, our mine is growing, and we're marching towards the goal. If you look at that and you say, well, I want to really understand where I'm going to be and what I need to do in order to maintain, you can do the math on it. And the real simple math is that when we hit that 10 million mega hash mine, when we're at now 10% of the total mine size goal, your 100 mega hash is going to produce about 0.95 TexitCoin per day. Then as we continue to grow and we get up to that 100 million mega hash mark, 100 million mega hash, the 100 mega hash is going to produce about 0.095 TexitCoin per day. And so at face value, that's like kind of a little frustrating and it's kind of a little confusing. But the point is that like if you were mining Bitcoin and you were only getting like 0.095 Bitcoin per day, you'd be pretty excited about it. 0.095 Bitcoin times $120,000 per Bitcoin is not a bad deal at $11,400 of Bitcoin per day. So the thing to stay focused on isn't necessarily the numeric quantity of TXC, it's what those TXC are worth. And as we're growing, as our value is increasing, as our mine is increasing, we're hoping that the ratio stays at about $5 of TexitCoin per mining seat per day. And so right now, I think it's about $3, maybe 285 to 325. And so you'll see that jump above and below that $5 threshold that we're shooting for. But again, it's not written in stone. It's just a kind of a target for us to hit so that we can focus on a return on the investment that people are putting in towards their mining seats. And again, investment's not really the right word to use here, but the point is that as the mine grows in size, we're hoping that the value of our coin grows along with it. We've got a couple basic strategies as to how that's actually going to happen. Part of it's liquidity, part of it's promotion. We also have our Thai adventure that's kicking off in just the next couple weeks. And so all of those things are contributing to the success of our actual digital asset on the open market. But I want you to keep those milestones in mind. So one seed, 100 mega hash, when we hit that 10 million mega hash goal, is going to be about one TXC per day. And then if you don't do anything else, if you don't help us build, if you don't get your 1-2 freeze, if you don't help us grow, then as that marches all the way up to 10 times larger, it'll be worth about 0.95 TexitCoin per day for the foreseeable future. And again, all that changes as well as we get more into the halving. Anyway, long story short, the mine is growing fast. And as it continues to grow quickly, more money comes into our community, more excitement comes into our community. We put that money to work for our mutual benefit. And so we have to take all these things into consideration to evaluate our experience. And that's why, as the mine continues to grow and the output per seat decreases, it may be a good idea to pick up a handful of TXC along the way. That way, you've got the best of both worlds. You've got your hands on some mining output, and you also have your hands on some instantaneous TXC. That way, if the market pops sooner rather than later, you're able to take advantage of that big jump when it goes down. Let's see if there's anybody else hiding in the list of people that are supposed to be joining us for tonight's call. I found Mckaylin. She's there. She's promoted. All right. So again, very exciting. We're going to talk more about that excitement in a few moments, but first I want to check in with our team and see if we can get a couple quick updates from across the land of Mine TexitCoin management and administration. Who wants to go first? Everyone's muted. That means
I'll go
nobody. Mckaylin
first.
wants to go first. Hi,
Yes.
Mckaylin. How was
Hi.
the drive home?
There's a lot of traffic, but I made it.
Good. I'm glad you made it. Tell us a little bit about what's happening in the enrollment process. You were doing a lot of printing today. A lot of pages were flying off
Yes.
the printer in preparation for
In preparation for drumroll training next week.
training next week is going
So we
down.
finally kick off training next week. I've printed off what we're gonna do each day for everyone. I've printed off the training guide, so each person will get that in a folder whenever they come in on Monday. And hopefully this training around would be a lot better than anybody else who's come in training before.
Before it used
um,
to be like, here's a computer, there's a chair, sit down. We'll talk
figure it
about
out.
something in a day or two.
And you can just figure it out.
Yeah.
No, but so next week it's gonna kind of probably be slow answering emails just because we'll be focused on trying to train new people and answer emails at the same time. But I also had one very important thing that I wanted to tell everyone on this. If you put a placement request in the notes on a form, on an ACH form, on a direct deposit form, on any form, you also need to be emailing placement at mindtxc.com because we cannot back anything up if it's put on a form and we don't see an email, then
Well, there's another
sad.
important note about that too, where the TXC limited ACH doesn't go directly to us. That's
Yeah.
actually a third party that is taking care of those forms. And
Right.
so we're all working together here to do the best job we possibly can, but we don't actually have direct access to that information. And so it's really hard to feel responsible for it because that information doesn't actually go to us. So
Right.
I would say two things. I'd say number one, everyone is responsible to double check the placement of the people that they've sponsored, and you got to get back to us by Saturday at noon. You know, we come in, we work on Saturdays, we stay here late, we make sure that we've handled all the placement requests before commission runs Saturday at 7 o'clock Central Time. And
And
so
it
if
has to be understood that if you're waiting till Saturday at 6 p.m. to put somebody in, then it's really hard for us whenever you put a placement request in after you put that person in at 6:58.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
it's very
just
true.
difficult. So that's just a lost.
Yeah, we have, you know, we have some good and some bad. The all the automation that we've added and all of the features that we've given to you are sometimes a double-edged sword. You know, you can add someone now at 6:59 p.m. on a Saturday night. So like if you go onto the website help desk, it's like the official cutoff is Friday at 7 p.m. So after Friday at 7 p.m., anything that happens through the automated system, we don't really have any control over. And so we're watching it, we're monitoring it. But like I said, after 12 o'clock noon on Saturday, if you don't get us an email by then, it's really difficult for us to try to catch something that goes in after that point.
Right.
So we encourage you to get your sponsorships in as early as you can to give us the greatest opportunity to do a good job and to give you the greatest opportunity to double check our work and make sure that we've done what you've requested. And then that way, when everything gets locked in and commissions run on Saturday at 7 o'clock Central Time, it all goes perfectly right. We don't have to rerun it or make any adjustments or have anybody frustrated. So thanks for that advice, Mckaylin. So how many people do we
Yes.
have coming in
A day?
on Monday
Averaging?
for the training?
Oh, 10.
We've got 10 people. We were originally supposed to do training sessions of
4.
with groups of 4. And it's like, can I come? Can I come? Can I come? Sure. Why not?
We need all
Mckaylin
the
is
help we can
also,
get.
and her team has also made a bit of a sacrifice to the benefit of our organization. You want to tell us anything about that?
What? Say that again?
You made a sacrifice.
I did?
You did. Mckaylin and Landon and Cassidy and Hayden were
Oh,
scheduled to
yes.
join us for the trip to Thailand. Now, I'm not saying it was a really good idea to clear out the entire office in the first place for this trip, but they were looking at that and saying, hey, we're struggling to keep our head above water now. If we jump on a plane and disappear for 24 hours and then we're on the other side of the world with our toes in the sand for 2 weeks, it's going to be all but impossible for us to actually keep up with this. And I said to her, I looked at her right in the eye and I said, anytime you make a personal sacrifice so that I make more money, I'm on your team. Let's go. No, but in all seriousness, I told her it was a bad idea. I said, look, in these kind of situations, we want to see you rise to the occasion. You know, it's it's very valuable to make a decision like that that's obviously rational and well thought out and again is in the best interest of our organization. You know, I'll never fault you or anybody else for doing that, but at the same time, I want to challenge you to do a great job, you know, and also find a way to have a great time and live your best life and have all the fun and enjoyment as well. You
We'll
know,
catch
that's
the next
kind of been
trip.
the story of my life. I lost everything in 2013. Instead of like falling into a deep depression and letting go, I said, hey, I can do this better. Rebuilt my life, put it all back together, came back and did some of the biggest things the coin industry has ever seen after all that went down, and ended on a triumphant note, selling my companies and moving on to this wonderful endeavor. So I always want to see everybody rise up and challenge themselves to do a great job and have the best of both worlds. I think that is a possibility for us. We're going to talk more about that in a few minutes, but thank you and your team for coming to that sensible conclusion. And your
So,
next
minors, if you don't think we care about you, we actually do.
flights were booked, the whole thing, tickets paid in full. So your next adventure is on this guy here when you're ready to go.
Yes.
So thanks for the update. Anything else you want to jump in and share with our friends before you call it a night?
That's it.
That's it. All right. Well,
Love you
thank you very
guys.
much. Who's going next? Gaige, what do you got? What do we owe our great success to from this previous week?
Well, we had a killer week, right? Another record-breaking week, one after another after another. It's almost getting to be a repetitive story now. Record-breaking week, every week, and so that's awesome. Now, also, on this week, we had 42 people that went supernova. Did everybody see that Bobby posted? There was 42 people that went supernova. And I'll get back to those in a second. But yeah, that top 10 list right there, Lita H with 17 sponsors, 75 points. Desmond, he's about to knock me off the leaderboard too. Whoever Desmond A is, he's coming for me. He's
That's
hot
my
on my
neighbor.
heels.
Desmond's
Really?
not messing around.
Yeah, he's on the leaderboard now.
Yo, did you see what his minor ID is too?
Uh-uh.
Desmond's number 10. We call him the
Wow.
sleeping dragon.
Yeah. And then down there's Josh Simpson right below him. He's coming in. He's starting to really, really put up some numbers here lately. He's got a great team below him, Mac and Nathaniel, that are also, or at least Mac's on there, on the bottom there, the top 10 list. They're crushing it. selling tons of 9-packs. Everybody on that top 10 list, this is one of the first weeks where every single person on there sponsored over 9 people. You know, so they got the 9 sponsorship bonus right there.
That's right.
But yeah, some other honorable mentions out there with the Supernova bonuses. The J-Hom group, Jennifer and Jason Hommel, Supernova on 2 spots this week.
That's awesome.
That's a big deal. Yeah. That means they built out a successful team under one spot and another huge successful team underneath another.
Can I
That's
tell
what's
you a
kind
story
of,
about that?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't drink anymore, except extremely rarely, right? And it's for a bunch of different reasons, right? First of all, I don't actually enjoy drinking. It's not like a part of me. But more importantly, like I've got to be a good example for us. I've got to be you know, on my toes all the time. I've got to be you know, not in a position to be caught on camera being drunk and belligerent out, like pushing people around and slurring my words and all that stuff. So I've got to be on my best behavior. I've already committed that. But I will tell you that on Saturday night, I did go out. My wife and I went to Legacy West and I had a drink. And I was texting Jennifer, and she texted me and said, I went Supernova on 2 spots. And I went, that's amazing. And she's like, too bad the new system bonus isn't programmed yet because I would have gotten a $6,000 bonus. And I said, what would you do if you got a $6,000 bonus right now? Is Jennifer out there? Does she remember what she said? Hold on. I don't know if she's out there. If you're out there, Jennifer, you can raise your hand and tell me what you said. She might be out there somewhere. I don't know. Anyway, she wanted something. I don't remember what it was. If I had to think about it, I'd remember it. But I said, if you promise me you'll use this bonus for something really great for yourself that you've really wanted for a while, I'll send you the $6,000 right now. And I did. And that's what happens when I get drinking, right? And so in, you know, one of the things that I've always said is that if I make a benefit or a bonus or something available to one person, I really have to make it available to everybody. You know, the fair enforcement of our rules and our program and our features is like one of our core elements to our success, right? No free rides. Everybody pays the same thing. We've got a comp plan that works across the board. Anytime we make a change to it, we make that change, you know, according to the rules, and everyone gets to take advantage of the same thing. So, because I was a little drinky on Saturday night, and because I did that for Jennifer, I decided that I was going to make the Supernova bonus for this week $3,000 for all those 42 people that hit that bonus.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
huge.
Why not?
Thank you, Bobby.
You guys are doing a great job. You know how much I appreciate the great job that you guys are doing. We are doing incredible. Our growth is off the charts. I mean, we hit $5 million last week. That was an impressive week. And then all of a sudden, $7 million shows up 5 minutes later. And that's just a really, really big thing. And so I want to demonstrate my appreciation to the people that are really doing a great job. Remember what Supernova is, right? Supernova is commission runs Saturday night at 7:00, right? It doesn't run instantaneously. It takes a couple minutes for it to work through the calculations and the processes. But what happens is it goes, oh, okay, you've got commission. Would you like your commission in hash power? Great, done. If you have your commission, you have a qualified commission, and you take that qualified commission in hash power upgrade, we count that as a new sale. We count that as new money. We put a point on the board to go along with that sale, which means that everybody above you is able to take advantage of that point as well, which is great. Okay. What happens is when the commission runs and the bonuses are calculated, and let's say you get, you know, people on your team are getting their commission and they're taking that commission in hash power. If you get 9 points just through those instantaneous hash power upgrades on one side and 9 points on the other side, if you max out the comp plan immediately without a new sale going in the system, we call that Supernova. And until a couple minutes ago, that Supernova bonus was $1,000. It's brand new. We just introduced it. Now, because of me having a little bit of a cocktail on Saturday night, that bonus for this week, and we'll see if I can keep it up, But the bonus for going Supernova is now $3,000. So I want to say thank you to Jason and Jennifer. Thank you to the other people that are out there doing a great job. Thank you to everybody that's sharing our story and helping us grow. And I want you to know that it's very important for me for us to have a level playing field. And if we give somebody some sort of benefit, we don't play favorites. We give that benefit to everybody. So everyone that went Supernova this week, you got $3,000 coming your way. And again, thank you very much for that.
Yep. Some more honorable mentions. We had the Locker Mint. They went Supernova. That was they had a couple people on their team. The Silverbugs team last week just crushed it. I'm pretty sure Jennifer or somebody on Silverbugs literally posted that they did $1 million, the Silverbugs team total, out of that 7 million in sales last week. So they are just absolutely crushing it. Great job. We had 4 in Team Atlas that went Supernova last week. So that was pretty cool. The first time for a few of those guys. But yeah, I mean, everybody's doing a great job. The one thing that I have this week, it's not all good news. There's one thing that I need to bring it to everybody's attention.
That's right. I had it on my list. I thought I was gonna have to break the bad news, but you got the bad news for us.
I'll break the bad news. You know, we talk about rug pulls and pump and dumps all the time, and I've never been a part of one, but I think this is what a rug pull feels like. Believe it or not, guys, the State Fair of Texas pulled the rug out from under us. Today we were set to wire them like 250,000. And I got an email last Thursday at end of day, didn't really get it till Friday, that they chose not to have us there. And they really didn't give us a good reason why. I did contact them, talk to them, tried to work through it. Couldn't find the answer that why we couldn't be there. And so they just said better luck next year. And that was it. So it was kind of odd. It was very last minute. I even flew down there last week specifically to meet with the lady that I've been dealing with and finalize all the details. And then 2 days later, she sends me that email out of nowhere. And so it was heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's a setback, but it's not going to keep us from hitting our goals, right? The fair was going to be a big thing. It was going to be a lot of fun. It was going to give people a big opportunity to get out there and get in front of a lot of people. But at the end of the day, it's not going to keep us from where we're wanting to go. It's not going to keep us from filling the seats on the rocket ship. It's not going to keep us from having another record-breaking week next week, you know, or anything like that. It just sucks, but it is what it is.
Here's my 2 cents on it. First of all, I'm not surprised in any way whatsoever. That doesn't mean I'm not disappointed, but when out front and Blip Billboards, where we started kind of our advertising and promotion strategy, said yes to us, my mind was blown. I'm like, are you guys serious? You're going to let us advertise? I mean, where do you see crypto advertisements at all? Like, crypto doesn't advertise anywhere. And, you know, there's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of mystery. There's a lot of concern, gray market, black market, securities, IRS, you know, all these things that, you know, people are concerned about. And not just that, but like I was walking through the Mercedes dealership today, and there's a guy there wearing a Mercedes hat with a big FTX logo on the side. And I'm like, bro, it might be time to get a new hat. You know, FTX was this major debacle, major egg in the face, you know, embarrassment for anyone and everyone that associated themselves with that. And it's like, who are you guys? You guys are the new crypto guys in town? Okay, nice try. Like, it would be a monumental risk for them to get associated with us or anybody out there in the crypto space, given the crypto's, you know, very, very, very long history of scams and hacks and bankruptcies and all the stuff that goes along with it. So anytime we have an advertiser, and Kristen can, you know, attest to this as well with the conversations we're having with KRLD, you know, they're putting us through like what is it? The 10th degree, the 9th degree?
The paces.
What's the phrase?
Putting us through the paces.
They're like vetting us all the way. And they said, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. We're so sorry. I said, it's okay. We would rather have you guys say no to us now than get started in a campaign and then halfway through just have it disappear because you guys, didn't do your due diligence. You didn't understand what the risks were. You didn't understand what cryptocurrency is all about. And so we'd rather have you guys research the heck out of it now, put us through the paces, and come back and make a good, fair, educated decision. It's the same thing that I said last week when we had lunch with the VIP. Don't make a hasty decision. There are some like real things to take into consideration. There is some real history of other times that people did stuff like this and it didn't end very well. And so don't be hasty. Take your time, make a good decision. And this feels terrible because we already went through the conversation. We had bank account wire instructions and we were like right there at the finish line. So we would love to figure out this stuff sooner rather than later. So it feels bad when it happens after we've already kind of got our heart set on it. But again, anybody that opens up their advertising and promotion opportunities to us, I take my hat off to them because it's a risky business that we're in, and I think it's totally fair for people to come back and say no. Now we've been invited by Texas Rangers baseball to advertise with them. We've been invited by who else?
The Dallas Stars.
You're very quiet, Kristen. Are you very quiet?
No? Am I ever quiet?
There you go. Now you're better.
No, she's not.
Give us a quick introduction to this this new thing that's popped onto our radar.
It happened today. They actually called me, and I was in the kitchen grabbing something to eat, and I saw my phone and I didn't even know the number. And I got on, it's a guy named Devin, and he does the marketing for the Dallas Stars, and he is wanting to get us around the entire rink. He wants us on the jerseys. He wants us on their hats, their helmets. And I'm like, and I'm a huge hockey fan, so I'm just, we're supposed to be scheduling a meeting next week with him. So, yep, there's that. We've got a TCU meeting tomorrow. I had a meeting with Teton Ridge. It's a rodeo PBR sponsorship. They work with the producers of Yellowstone and Taylor Sheridan.
Yeah.
And Landman. They're they've got a huge studio and a ranch out in where was it? It's right outside Weatherford.
Mhm.
Anyways, they're huge. They do stuff with the American horsemanship, and they are really interested in us because we have the same like on our website where it goes through like all the history of Texas. Well, they're trying to keep everything old school Western Texas, and they just think our values and morals and stuff kind of collide together perfectly. So I had a meeting with them today. It went really, really well. Orange Barrel Media got a hold of me. I have a meeting with them on Thursday to be on AT&T Stadium, Choctaw Stadium, Globe Life Field, and Live the Restaurant. So that's another meeting I have. Let's see what else. I've got so much stuff written down. The Ticket started airing our commercials yesterday, and so
Wait. What's the radio station for that?
The Ticket.
I know, but like, what is it? Because I don't know.
AM 1310.
6-7.
They've got the FM one too.
Yeah, they have an AM and FM.
Because somebody sent me a message and they're like, I just heard you on like 8:20 AM. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's a really big deal, Bobby. So it even says like at the beginning that we like run the station at the beginning. It'll be like TexitCoin, the Ticket and whatnot.
Love
so
it.
I'm excited. I've been having people recording it and sending me videos and whatnot. And that just started yesterday, and I've had like 10 people message me. So that's going down.
Tell me you're getting like free tickets and stuff based on
we're
all this
getting
ad spend.
everything. Like we get, like supposedly we get our own box at the Dallas Stars.
What?
That would say TexitCoin suite at the top.
Yo, you got to talk to Eddie about that, because if anyone is going to be excited about that deal, it's definitely Eddie.
Okay.
Not Fast Eddie. Eddie Money.
No. Okay. I'll have to talk to him. And then I swear I had more to talk about.
You're all good. Just a quick update. It's totally fine. Just something to keep our friends in the loop.
Yes. Anybody that has any inquiries on car wrapping, contact me at Kristen@blockchainmint.com. I know that everybody's weaseling around trying to find where to go. Come to me.
And remember, guys, the car wrap is an approval process. You got to reach out. You got to let us know what you got. We got to get you in the queue. We've budgeted what, $100,000 a month right now for car wraps, so we can get like
Yep.
25 cars wrapped a month, which is great. But please ask for permission first. We want to get it scheduled properly. We've got a lot of cars right now in DFW that need to get wrapped for our Game Over giveaway. So please coordinate that with Kristen at blockchainmint.com. That's Kristen at blockchainmint.com.
And that's all I have.
Thank
Thanks,
you for
guys.
the update. Lovely work. Fast Eddie, what's going on out there? You have any news for us, or is it status quo in your world?
I do. So if you're following along, I have updates on all the equipment coming from overseas.
Okay.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
first of all, so we have 3 transformer / voltage stabilizers that have been on order. So they are scheduled to hit our soil on 9/18.
Let's talk about that real quick, because the reason, and I know you and I have a difference of opinion on this here, but we're looking at the hash power, and our hash power was all the way up at 461 at one point, and now we're like dropped down in the 280 range. And the reason for that is because the mines that are installed right now in the B24 are not happy. Now, my theory on why they're not happy is they're pissed off about the voltage that we're feeding into them. Fast Eddie, you've got a different theory.
Correct.
Tell me what your theory is.
So the mines weren't set up correctly for immersion cooling, and the fan spoofs that we did install were great. However, we failed to spoof the fans and the PSU, and the CPU monitors those. So when they started to shut down, then the whole mine shut off.
And so the solution is to also spoof the power supply fans.
That is correct.
And are we also going to remove the power supply fans?
Yeah, you can. You can leave them in or take them out. Probably taking them out would be the best, because the dielectric fluid is very drying, and it doesn't do any favors for the bearings and the fans.
Got it. So they're going to burn up sooner or later anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if they're just setting in it, it's not premium.
Got it. Well, this is something that we want to figure out sooner rather than later, both the voltage issue and also the issue of bypassing, spoofing the fans. Because if you're right, and we have to prep 200 of these machines for dropping in the container in Victoria, if it's an hour per machine to get it set up properly, that's 200 hours of work. And so we need to start now, because 40 hours a week, that's 4 or 5 weeks worth of work in order to just get 200 units prepped. Half an hour? Half an hour? What do we think?
Yeah, maybe even 20 minutes for one.
Let's say it's half an hour. It's still 100 hours worth of work to prep 200 machines. And 200 machines is just the beginning. We got 3 more containers coming in, or 2 more containers and 1 more modular unit. So we've got enough ASICs to cover more than what we've purchased, more than what we've sold. But we have to find the solution and correctly prep the unit so that the hash power gets to where it's supposed to be and stays there.
And that's if we go with the firmware, it's going to be a lot faster and a lot different.
But the firmware is going to charge us overhead fee?
They'll have some sort of hotel tax on it using their firmware.
So the reason that you and I disagree about this is because those L7s have been chugging away in the bathtub for a very long time, since day one, completely reliably.
They have.
And so we're going to do both. We got the voltage stabilizer to deal with our voltage issue, and we've got the bypass to deal with the fan issue. And may the best solution win, I say. I want to talk about this real quick, just a little bit more, because, look, we've told you guys a lot of times that we're learning together. You guys are learning, we're learning. And so we don't have all the answers. We're consulting with experienced experts. We are talking to some of the top people in the field. We're buying machines from the leading manufacturers in immersion cooling and in, ASIC mining. And so what we have to do is we have to take all this information in and then apply it to our particular scenario. Then we capture real world feedback and learn as much as we can from that. We make adjustments and we try and we try and we try again. So we don't have it dialed in yet, but we can assure you that we are actively pursuing the best, solution for what we want to accomplish. And what we're doing isn't out of the world. There are plenty of other people out there that run these ASICs. There are plenty of other people out there that do immersion cooling. And so what I continue to encourage our team is to approach this like a scientist, approach these challenges with curiosity and with an experimentation type of attitude. Let's try this out, see what works. Let's try this out. Once we find something that we think works, then we scale it. Okay, we got one working properly. Uptime has been there for, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Let's do the second one. Let's do the third one. Then once we're confident that we have the solution, we roll it out across the entire organization. And so I want to remind you and just share with our community our approach to dealing with the challenges that we face. Again, we don't have all the answers, but we've got an attitude of learning and an attitude of exploration so that we can find the answers and then get those solutions implemented correctly. Do we have any kind of ballpark guess as to when our friends from Victoria Electric will be ready for us to flip the switch?
That was my number 2. So they are talking within the next 2 weeks, we'll have power.
Wow. Within the next 2 weeks, because that's
Yep.
2 weeks from now is when we get on a plane to go to Singapore. Or sorry, go to Thailand.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool if like the day before we left, we turn on the container?
Yes.
That would have to be within the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. So they haven't given me a specific date yet, but they're saying within the next 2 weeks.
Wow. That's really soon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there you have it, folks. The next 2 weeks, we will stay tuned, hopefully get some information. As soon as we have it, we'll share it with you guys. We're looking to throw a party for when that switch is ready to flip. Hopefully we can pull it off while I'm still here in town. If not, you guys are going to have to party without me. Robbie Rue, you can cover that though, right? You're staying behind.
I will totally throw a party on your behalf.
Okay, that'd be great. Eddie, thanks for the update, man. Stick around if you like, and let's keep going here. Paige is hiding. Is Paige hiding? Paige is muted. Wasn't this a problem last time?
Yes, my bad.
Hi, Paige.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it
Tell
going?
us what's new in the world of finance and money.
So, I mean, you kind of went over with our sales for week 74. So we had over 7 million come in sales, which is awesome. 2 million more than last week. And then, let's see what else.
Well, the next
Commission.
challenge is to track it all down because we did what, 4 million in peer payments this past week?
No, it was, let's see, peers, well, almost 3 million. So I got to track those down. So if you see a message coming my way, I'm having to go over Marianne's job. That's part of hers, but she's out on vacation right now. So
Marianne's on a cruise. I was
yeah,
not even invited, not even once.
me either. Rude.
Rude.
It was a Disney cruise. So
Yeah, it'd be a little
Yeah.
creepy.
so yeah, so please be patient with me. I'm having to deal with her job plus everything that I'm dealing with. So I will be reaching out.
Alex is
some
out
of
of
you-
town as well, right? When is he coming
Yes.
back?
He's coming back Wednesday and he should be at work Thursday. So he'll be
Okay.
back Thursday. So with commission, we had 926,000 in commission in week 74, which is awesome.
You're talking specifically about BOGOs.
Oh, yeah, with the BOGOs from the report. So
That's a really big thing to pay attention to, guys, because, and this is going to get shared on the new website that we're going to talk about in a second, but you see that 2.56 million was earned last week in commission. And so you're saying that 900,000 of that went into BOGOs.
Yep.
900 over 216 is 41%. That's a huge number. Remember,
It's
guys, that's
huge.
what I call the long game. right? If you do your 3 and your 3 and you want to take your $1,000 in cash, remember Rafael Cruz will tell us that it's better to have money than not, have more of it than less, and have it sooner rather than later. So the short game is taking commission in cash, which is totally fine. But if you want to play the long game and you want to acquire as much hash power as you can to increase those daily TXC payouts, then that's through the BOGO program that you're offered as a commission option. I don't know if we're always going to offer that as an option. In fact, I think we said at 50,000 people we're getting rid of BOGO. Is that right?
I
That's
believe so.
50,000.
50,000. We'll still have hash power, but you won't be able to get 2 for 1. Now, remember, that only applies to new miners that join us 50,001 or more. Okay.
Yes.
Paige, back to you. Thanks.
So, also, let's see what else I have written down. Did you want me to kind of go over the appointments with people coming in, dropping off cash, how we need to start making appointments coming up soon?
Yeah, let's talk real quick about that because we just talked about that earlier today. We're trying to
Yes.
get a little more formalized, a little bit more organized. We will have full-time 24-hour round-the-clock security staffing our main HQ address. So we just moved into our new headquarters in McKinney. It's 1801 West Louisiana Street. It's a beautiful building. It's probably not our last building. We probably got one more move in us since we're busting through the walls already. But starting on the 8th, you'll be able to schedule an appointment with security to stop by and drop off your precious metals or your cash payments or your peer payments. And so we want to keep that very organized. We've got a great money counter here that even counts through mixed bill stacks. So if you'd like to do that, coordinate it with Paige or security after the 8th, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So, we'll have more details about that coming up soon because we'll have to have a appointment calendar for that coming up.
Right.
So, y'all have my phone number, of course, email and Telegram. So I'll try to get more organized with that.
I was just having a conversation with Robbie Rue a minute ago about why us accepting precious metals is such an important part of our program. And the reason for it is because hopefully you already know out there if you're from the precious metals community, gold and silver are debt-free money. Gold and silver aren't issued as debt instruments like Federal Reserve notes are. And so we really love debt-free money. When you come here and you pay us with debt-free money like gold and silver, and we turn that into mining power that produces more debt-free money with TexitCoin, that's a really great conversion. So if you've got gold, if you've got silver, or platinum, or anything that has value that you want to trade for mining seats or more mining seats, we'd love to have it because we love creating a debt-free currency and we love trading with your existing debt-free currency. And so we want to be able to offer that as a more regular payment option, maybe be able to put it back on the website as a payment option, and then have you either get a shipping address or schedule a time to stop by and drop that off.
Yeah, because if y'all have any questions about that, please reach out to me through my email or Telegram, or if you have my phone number, I'll give you instructions on how we've been taking that and inputting in the system as well.
Love it.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, we ordered 65 L9s this week from last week, so that's a huge
right.
deal.
That's our these orders are getting big and weird.
It's double from July. It's crazy. Like we were ordering maybe 28 at that time, and now it's up to 65.
65.
So if you are looking into mining at home, which we're strongly encouraging it, please reach out to Alex. He has a list of people that he's already contacted. But if y'all are interested, please contact Alex B at blockchainmint.com.
Is it Alex B?
I think it's Alex B because we have Alex T and Alex B.
Yeah,
The
Alex
original
B
Alex,
is correct.
All right.
So
See?
let's talk about that real quick. The developers have gotten the new mining pool set up. So we're not on standby, but we are waiting to test that with some of the at-home miners so that we can confirm that the miners are connected, they're hashing properly, and they're going to get the Litecoin payout reward. We haven't seen a Litecoin reward in a while now, and that's because our hash power has been decreasing. And so we've got to get that resolved, get the hash power back up so that so that we can start to hit that Litecoin reward and share it correctly with the people that are part of that pool. So we're not on hold right now, but again, we're looking to make an improvement there and test it out before we start sending out more and more of the at-home miners, because we want them to work properly. We want you to be happy with that. People are saying
Yes.
like, should I just unplug it? Because I'm not really sure if it's doing anything right now. And we say, well, unplug it if you like, but let's figure out what's going on. And then that way, let's track it properly and make sure you're rewarded properly for that as well.
And it's only Texas residents.
Correct.
So
Thanks,
now.
money person.
now.
Appreciate the
Hey.
update.
Of course.
Anything else to share?
I've just been taking care of Thailand payments, so that's been all booked and taken care of for everyone.
Oh,
So
I just paid $44,000 today for the group that's going to do the hosting for our TXC Trade with All dinner.
yes.
$44,000. We get one of those giant LCD screen walls, and we get the dancers, and we get the DJ, we get the music, we get the MC, like we get the whole thing. Like it's all the way professional. I don't
Yes.
have any details yet on how your friends in Asia can join for that event. The whole thing's being hosted by our associate Johan out there, and he hasn't given me yet any kind of formal method to get set up with a ticket for that event. I think that's because he's got it fully booked. We should have about 450 people out there from his endeavors. We just sponsored a big golf tournament out there that went really well. So we're making a lot of friends right now in Asia, and hopefully that dinner is a complete smash success.
Yes.
Well, thanks for joining.
Well, thanks for having me.
Enjoy your evening. We'll talk to you again next week.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Robbie Rue, it's just me and you now.
Okay.
What do you got over
Does this
there?
does this thing work? It doesn't seem to be shaving. Do I got to plug it in? Is that how that's supposed to work?
I think so. I think so.
Okay.
We'll have to read the user manual. You know, most people don't read the manual, like the mission control manual. We need more people to read the manual.
True. Also read those intro emails that are sent to you. A lot of good information.
You've been on board full time now. Unfortunately, your full time involved actual work, whereas Tim's full time is going to involve like 2 weeks of vacation when he starts. But tell us where we're at on a couple weeks in, man. What do you think? What do you see? What do you like? What do you not like? You know, do we have something here? Give me no holds barred feedback on your professional opinion.
So you've built a great organization, and this project is absolutely amazing. So I'm still 110,000% so excited to be part of this. I consider it like a true honor. I do see some issues. We everything can always use improvement. So we're working on customer service. We want to support our miners. We want to support our downlines. Jen gave me some bullet points to cover for fulfillment and shipping. And so I'll go ahead and hit those real quick, but we're about 2 weeks behind in shipping. But with the new staff, we're doing really good. She trained 5 people last week, hired 6 different people. We are now running 3 shifts on fulfillment. So we're working 24 hours a day to get those coins and get caught up on that. So everyone just know that we're a little bit behind and we're trying to catch up. But this weekend, okay, the holiday weekend, your crew produced 3,500 coins to ship out. So know that we are working hard and that we are trying. Other than that, I love all the improvements that we're talking about, Bobby, the new website and all the fun things coming up.
Let's take a look at the new website real quick.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to share that. So the new website right now is on a temporary page. Oh, gosh, I didn't want to go all the way down to the bottom real quick. So the new website looks suspiciously a lot like the old website. And of course, that's by design, because the last thing we want is a drastic rebrand to like freak everybody else out. Hey, I really like the old website. The new one looks totally different. So what we're looking for right now is a gradual introduction of new features. That's really the top priority. So we want to stick with the current, design, which has been working very well for us, and instead focus on a couple new things that we're introducing. The first new thing that we're introducing is just a little bit of social media. One of the things that we keep talking about is like, if like this is the website that we launched on day one, right? This is the one that I made and launched with my very limited web skills, but it worked. And it's gotten us to the point where we are now. And unfortunately, it doesn't really show you how far we've come in the last year and, a half almost. We're 75 weeks in on this deal so far, but the website still looks like we're some, new, untested, kind of unheard of thing. It doesn't show off the community. It doesn't show off the statistics. It doesn't show off the advertising and promotion. It doesn't show off the mind. It doesn't show off anything. And so, thanks to Hayden, our social media is really, really much further along now than it was a couple months ago. And so right now, the best place to see the exciting things that we're actually doing is on our social media channels. And we've got, TikTok, we've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, and we've also got Twitter. So he's managing all those accounts now and getting updates out there, good enough to make it look like we're an active organization. If you go on the TexitCoin website right now and you check out the news page, there hasn't been a news update since like August of last year. Not great, right? And so it's really important for us to communicate that we're an active project and that we're into this deal. We're not on day one anymore. I think about the introduction that I used to do going out to these like, barbecue meetups back in the beginning. It was like, hey, here's me, and I've got an idea, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna work hard every day for you. And that was it. That was all I had back then. And I remember early this year going out to one and being like, hey, I could give you guys like a long, heartfelt speech about how hard I'm gonna work and why you guys should take me seriously. But let me just show you what we did last week. And it's not just the growth, it's also the new billboards that went up and the new advertising that we started and the new ASICs that got installed and the amount of commission that we paid out. Like, those are all really exciting things. And so if you can't see that firsthand, then it's whispered down the lane. Then you're relying on somebody who told you about something that they were told that they were told, and on and on and on. And I talked about this a couple of weeks ago where, we want to continue to be successful and grow, but we want the message to be loud and clear every one of those jumps. Because if the message becomes, diluted as it goes down the river, then the what's the word I'm looking for there? The commitment, the confidence level that the new people have is going to be very, very low. Why did you get in? Oh, my friend told me to. As opposed to, well, of course I got in. Don't you see how well the project is doing? Like, if you can see all that information at the time of enrollment, you know that you're making a good decision. We want people to like be willing to take a test and dip a toe in the water and try it out, and then join us for these calls and get involved and see that it's actually a legitimate project. But wouldn't it be even better if they were, met head on with that information as soon as they get to the website to fill out that form? And that's really what we want. We want the enthusiasm and the results to be communicated loud and clear at the time when they hit the website and they're, pulling their credit card out, so to speak, and making that decision to join us. And then we want them to find out, 5 minutes after that, that they made a really great decision, and they should be very happy that they made that commitment. So we want that information to be communicated on the website. And so the first very little thing that we've got going for us right now is a little bit of a social media feed. And of course, it'll be very easy for us to add more into it as we get this new platform launched. So that's a big step forward. And again, you can see all the different things that are happening. So much is happening all over the country. Every day of the week, I'd say probably 5 things are going down in some other part of the country or the world even. And so again, if you're not seeing that firsthand, you can't really feel that excitement. And we want you to feel it. We've got something. We've got the most exciting thing today in crypto. The next step then on the website is to bring over 2 things. Number one is the help desk. And so if we go all the way up to the top, you see that we've got the help section here that's linked to what we call a subdomain. And help.mindtxc.com is a totally different website and service from what we've got here. The reason that that's a problem is because all of this great information, all of these articles that are written with good information about how our program works and what the risks are and the rewards and all that stuff, it's not indexed by the search engines. And so what happens is the Google crawlers go out there and they try to index all the content on your website. There's very little content whatsoever on the mindtxc.com website. There's very little content on TexitCoin.org website. All of it's on a different website. And so it doesn't really know to associate those two together. And so by moving all of that content off of the desk onto our main websites, the Google crawlers will be able to index it properly and make it part of our story. That way, when somebody goes on to AI and they go, is TexitCoin a scam? It's like, well, I don't really know. There's not much information out there about it. In fact, let me give you some bad information from a TexitCoin project from 3 years ago that was an ERC20 token that never ended up seeing the light of day. It's like, well, hold on. That's not us at all. So without good information, the crawlers and the AI really have no idea how to, tell our story. And so bringing that information over is a really big thing. And of course, the other really big thing as well is to bring over some of the reports and data from the dashboard. And so you got to click on dashboard first to see some of the relevant information and statistics on our growth, on our hash rate. And so what we really want to show, our 3 key metrics from our story, is how much cash we've brought in, the size of our mine, and the size of our community. And so those are the 3 most important statistics that we are actively tracking towards our success. Remember, we want to bring on the better part of $1 billion. We want to have the better part of 1 million members of our miners in our community. And we want to grow our 100 million mega hash mine. So I need to have those 3 key pieces of information on the website so that you can see on, a real quick dashboard exactly how we're doing without having to click to go somewhere else. Also, we want to show things like miners of the week or miner of the month or who's hitting those bonuses and stuff. And so we got to get that information on the website to show you and the people that are learning more about us exactly how we're doing. We don't want them to have to dig for it. We want it to be right there and available on that live site. So Becca's doing a great job. I've told you guys about her for a couple weeks now, and now we're starting to see some of the deliverables and results from her good work. What else we got there, Robbie Rue?
Oh, the biggest thing is working on the Ranger team support. That's a big one for us, and Mckaylin kind of talked about that briefly. But Rangers, find your person, send them to us. We'll train them. We need to get ready for the growth. The growth is going to get insane. We're doing probably 400 people on average per day. That's going to be 600 before too long, 1,000 before too long. This thing's like a giant snowball rolling downhill, growing exponentially. So everybody just know that that's going to come with some pain for us here as we try to keep up with that, but we are doing everything we can right now to get ready for it. So
okay, thank you very much, Rob. I want to talk about one thing real quick, and then we'll move on to Q&A. I got a text message from someone. I think the person's name is Kelly. I don't know if Kelly's a boy or a girl. Could go either way. What's the normal Kelly? Kelly's a girl? Kelly's a boy?
yeah, or it could be a guy.
Could go either way. I got a text message from Kelly the other day, and Kelly said, I'm really concerned about the direction that this project is going. It seems to me like we're really being taken over by the network marketers. And when you talk about prizes and you talk about travel and you talk about freedom field trips and you talk about rewards and bonuses and cars and giveaways, it really makes this thing feel like a network marketing company. And there's a lot more to it than that, but that was the basic overview. And I want to talk about a couple things there real quick because there's some good news and there's some bad news. The good news is that at our core, we're not a network marketing company. We have already told you very specifically the 3 things that make us incredibly different from traditional network marketing companies. Number 1, there's no auto ship. It's a one-time fee. Number 2, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. And number 3, we've got a product. It's not a magic pill. It's not a potion. It's not a lotion. It's not anything you can find on the shelf at Walmart for 10 cents on the dollar, which is how a lot of things work in network marketing companies, for better or worse. And there's some good network marketing companies out there, and there's some slimy ones. In fact, most of them are probably pretty slimy. But I want to remind you that this is not a network marketing company for those basic 3 reasons. Number one, but I can tell you for sure, with full honesty, and I'll look in your eye when we talk about it, I designed this project to be as similar to a network marketing company as I possibly could, on purpose, for a lot of reasons. Let me go through them real quick. Number one, network marketing companies have done what we are trying to do before. They did it bigger than we are attempting to do. The only problem is they did it wrong and they never built the mine. So I know that network marketing is a good strategy to get to where we want to go. Number one. Number two, I'm actually a really big fan of legitimate network marketing companies. And I think that there are very few out there whatsoever. In fact, maybe not many at all. But the idea that you can go into business for yourself with an extremely low barrier to entry is kind of a cool thing, right? It's like, okay, I want to work for myself. What do I do? Well, you can start small, maybe like a lemonade stand, or like, bake some goods or something. That's a lot of work and not a lot of money. What about like opening a franchise, a Subway franchise? Well, be prepared to write a really, really, really big check to get that process started. And so network marketing comes in there. It's like, look, you want to do your own home-based business. You want to work for yourself. You're looking for a side hustle. You want to make a couple extra bucks. Here's an opportunity with a very low barrier to entry. And usually it's $50 or $100 or $1,000 or a couple $1,000. But it gives the average person an opportunity to do something. Now, I'll be the first to tell you and admit that most network marketing compensation plans are designed to make sure that you never get anything out of it. The reason they do that is because they know that most people are probably not going to follow through in the first place. You say, I want to make some money. Let me find a get rich quick scheme. You throw in your couple bucks, couple $100, and then you get a box of stuff in the mail and you look at it and you go, that was stupid. You have 1 or 2 conversations that don't really go well and people give you a hard time about it and you give up. Then next thing you know, you're sitting there with a couple boxes of some product and then another box the next month and another box the next month. And the network marketing company has kind of accomplished its major goal. They got what they call breakage. Somebody gave them money. They got a couple months worth of products that they paid too much money for, and then they quit. And they were able to move their product out there, which is really what they're trying to do. And so they're pretty happy with it. You're pissed off because you put all this money in and it didn't work, but they're pretty happy because they knew that you weren't really going to do a good job and you were going to kind of quit and they were going to move a little bit of product and then they were going to move on. And so most network marketing companies design their compensation plans to make sure that you never get anything out of it. And I've never been okay with that. I understand as well as anyone else that most people don't follow through on things that they say they're going to do, but I can definitely say that I don't like the idea of a business model being built on that premise. Hey, I want to bring you onto something, and I know for sure that you've got less than a 1% chance of actually like doing what you say you want to do. So therefore, I've got almost a 0% chance of having to pay you anything for it. From a network marketing like owners and management and shareholder standpoint, that sounds really good to the company. If you've been around me in this conversation for long enough, you know that I try to go into everything with the idea of an equal exchange of value. A win-win, as they call it, right? I'm going to put something in, you're going to put something in, and we're both going to get something out of this. That's where it begins for me. And any time in any relationship, whether it's children and parents or students and teachers or husbands and wives or bosses and employees, if you don't have an equal exchange of value, you've got an imbalance. You've got something that is beginning to show an unfair exchange. And that creates a contradiction. Somebody's getting more out of that than the other person. And that can only ever go on for so long before there's a falling out. People quit, they give up, they go their separate ways, and it doesn't work out. So I always go into everything that I do with the idea of an equal exchange of value. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't. TexitCoin and mining TexitCoin, this project that we're on together, is very unique because we've got an incredible equal exchange of value here. I hear stories about life-changing success, and people happy more so than I think any other network marketing company has experienced. Why? Is it me? Is it the comp plan? Is it the program? Is it the product? What is it that we've really got here that make this one so much different than everything else? I've got my theories for it. Maybe you've got your theories as well. But I'd like to think that we started with the idea of an equal exchange of value, and that oriented us on a course where we've got to make improvements and changes, and we've got to act in a particular way where you get something out of this. Because if you don't get something out of it, you're unlikely to share our story with other people. Okay? So we start there. Now, this is where it starts getting a little goofy, and I bring it back to my point. It starts to get a little goofy because we add cryptocurrency on top of that. So take the network marketing-esque conversation, the affiliate program, the reward program, set that aside for a moment and think about any traditional crypto project. Crypto projects are Lambo. Crypto projects are moon, rocket ships, and this get rich quick opportunity where you get in on something and you 1,000x your money. If I pitched you on a deal where you didn't have the opportunity to 1,000x your money, you'd go, there's no upside there. What? What kind of investment opportunity can you come across in your life where you're talking about taking $1 and turning it into $1,000 and people not laughing at you? Totally ridiculous in any other investment conversation besides crypto. But that's how crypto is. That's just the nature of the crypto beast. Crypto is an emerging technology. And so you're looking for something that's new, exciting, different. So that if you get in early enough, and rest assured, it is very, very early in the TexitCoin conversation. If you get in early enough and we're successful at holding this little ship of ours together, then you've got an amazing upside. Think about it like this. The guys that got in back at the very early days of TexitCoin, when we were at 2.8 cents, we're at $2.80 today. That's a 100x return. And it's not fantastical. It's kind of par for the course in the crypto realm, and it's not hypothetical. There are lots of people out there that have cashed out amounts small and large at a 100x return. You could go into the market right now and sell, any chunk of TexitCoin and get $2.80 for it. The percentage of people that can liquidate their whole entire stack and affect the market is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. In fact, Robbie Rue, you remember where it was the last time we looked?
I'm sorry, I was answering questions. What was your question?
We were talking about the top 100.
Oh yeah, it was like 43%.
43% last time. So let's take a look at where we are today, real quick. We go to resources, Block Explorer. And today, the top 100 represent 42%. So the number of people that actually have the ability to smash the market and do that rug pull pump and dump thing gets smaller and smaller and smaller over time with us. That's one of the things we designed in this project. As the mind gets bigger, as the community gets larger, the likelihood of a pump and dump or a rug pull gets smaller and smaller. But the point is that it's crypto. It's supposed to be exciting. It's supposed to have upside because it's an emerging technology. And if we do a good job as stewards of this technology and this project and this program and this comp plan and this reward system, we're all going to do very well, maybe even get insanely rich. And so when you take those two concepts, this network marketing thing, which is kind of slimy, and this crypto thing, which is kind of scammy, but every once in a while, somebody ends up driving a Lambo because they get in on the right project at the right time, you've got this thing that feels a little bit weird. I call it crypto rich. I've been trying to explain crypto rich to you for a very long time now. Why? Because if you don't understand what crypto rich is, when it comes and it happens, you'll be uncomfortable. You won't understand it. It'll feel weird. And as our friend Maddie talks about from time to time, you got to worry about sudden wealth syndrome. Imagine those guys out there that go from very rarely having 2 nickels to rub together in the pocket to hitting the lottery. Next thing you know, all the friends and family members they never even knew they had come out of the woodwork, start needing to borrow money. Can you buy me this? Can you buy me that? Can you buy me the other thing? Next thing you know, they're back to broke. It's really important because this is not a get rich quick scheme. It's really important that we take the time that we have to learn and understand what wealth is. Wealth is fun. Wealth involves travel. Wealth involves things like exotic cars, nice houses. Wealth involves things like taking the Saturday off and going fishing. Wealth includes things like paying off credit card debt or maybe paying off your mortgage. These are the things that I want us to get excited about and look forward to in this project, because at the core, we are a cryptocurrency project. We grow through network marketing like strategies because they've been proven to be successful in the past. I call it the playbook. I know the guys that did it personally. We've built this thing to be very different from the way they've done it in the past. But I am expecting us to be successful. And if we can't sit down and we can't plan to be successful and do the math on the dollars that come with that, then it's going to be impossible for us to get there. I'm not saying that this is a feeling that everyone across the entire organization feels, but it is something that everyone in the entire organization is going to need to prepare for. Because when I say crypto rich, I don't mean just crypto rich for myself and Robbie Rue and the other guys that got in back when we were working out of the garage. I mean crypto rich for everyone. Because I do believe sitting here today that there is still a 1000x upside. Last week we did the math on the call. I went over the math on the Monday call with Terry and Mike. You know, for us to go from where we are today up to $2,800 a coin is not fantastical. It's as fantastical talking about that as it was for us to talk about a dollar coin a year ago when it was impossible. But now we've done it. And then we went to $2 and now we're coming up on $3. And so why can't we come up on $4 or $5 or $6 or $10 or $20 or $50? Every time somebody gets on the rocket ship, they start that journey over. And that's what gives us this upward spiraling momentum towards the very top of the cryptocurrency where I expect us to get. And I expect us to get there soon. But I want you to become comfortable with crypto rich. I want you to become comfortable with being successful. Maybe you've been down on your luck for so long that you've convinced yourself that the world's got it out for you and you're never going to win. I want you to let that go. I want you to put that baggage down. I want you to start to embrace the idea that you were at the right place at the right time and you knew what to do with it. And I want you to mentally prepare to be successful. And I want you to have a good time as we're on our way together to being successful. I want you to take a trip with us. I want you to have an exotic car that you've only ever dreamed of. There's going to be an exotic car parking lot at the Austin F1 party that you're invited to. We're going to have representatives from car dealerships come out there and join us and tell you about the features of the car that you've got a chance of winning. And you have no idea how much fun it is to go out and look at these beautiful cars, thinking that somebody in our community is going to get to enjoy that. Maybe you've never had a nice car before. I don't know. But you're part of a project today that's working, it's winning, it's successful, it's growing, it's got great people managing it, it's got great people joining it every day. And now is the time for you to start to embrace the idea that you're going to be successful along with us. It may be uncommon, it may be unfamiliar, you may not think it's even expected. But at some point, I need you to just begin to wrap your mind around crypto rich. Okay. And I want you to understand that we're getting there through hard work, through honest money, through doing the right thing. You know, it's like we talked about before, how Ron Paul told us that we've got a moral responsibility to share the messages of peace and prosperity and honest money with people all over the world. And if we get rich while we're doing that, then thank God. Now, I've worked hard for a very long time, and you probably have too. And maybe you started to think that it wasn't ever going to work out for you the right way. Time to let that go now. Because our success, it's not knocking on the door. Our success is here. It's entered the room. It's toasting us right now. It's welcoming us. It's saying, great job. Keep it up. It's not saying you're almost there. It's saying you did it. We're doing it each and every week, week in, week out. Why? How? How did it happen to you? How did it happen to us? How has it happened for me? Luck, which is exactly what you get when you take hard work and you cross it with opportunity. TexitCoin for me has been the luckiest thing that I've ever done. But it wasn't magic. It happened because I knew what to do. I knew the opportunity. I knew I was at the right place at the right time. I had the skills, the knowledge, the experience from all the years that I put in with precious metals, doing it the hard way. And then I connected with some really great people and they saw the opportunity. They took the bull by the horns. They grabbed a piece of the ship and they started pulling as well. And it worked. And I'm so pleasantly surprised with how well we've done and how well we're doing each and every day. I'm so happy and proud of the team we've put together to help get us here. And I'm so proud of the people that are joining us every day. I don't care what background you come from. If you're a network marketer, let's go. I'll show you how to do it my way. If you're a person that hates network marketing like I was, then rest assured that this is not a network marketing deal. We kind of pretend to be one because we know that it works. But it's a real project run by real people with a real mission to build the largest privately owned mine in the world right here in Texas, to create an honest monetary system that's based on powerful digital currency tools. Bitcoin showed us the way. They forgot the way. They sold out. They handed over control to the banks and the mega corporations and the foreign nations. I didn't forget. I remember what's great about crypto. And when you take that financial technology and something as important as honest money and you put those two things together, you got it. And it comes with the Lambos and it comes with the Mercedes and the BMWs and the Audi R8s and all the other fun supercars and super adventures that are coming our way. Guys, this is just the very beginning. There's so much more coming, and I want you to enjoy it as much as I am. I want you to be proud of it because we worked hard for it. And I want you to take advantage of it. I want you to get as much out of this project as you can, because you can rest assured that I'm getting everything I can out of this project. That's where the equal exchange of value comes in. But I'm going to work hard every day for our success. And I know you're out there working hard as well. And I see it, and I want to reward it. And I want to show you how much I appreciate it. And if a bunch of supercars and hypercars do that, or a trip to Thailand or Singapore or Berlin or Switzerland does that, then great. Let's share those adventures together. I don't know if anything like this will ever happen again, but it's here. It's here now. It's here today. And we're only 8% of the way to our goal. So let's keep going. Let's have a blast. Let's make some new friends. Let's make some money together. Okay? Hard work plus opportunity equals luck. That's where we are today with the luckiest thing that you've ever come across. Accept that and let it bring a smile to your face. That's it. That's it for me tonight. Let's jump into Q&A now that we're an hour and 24 minutes in. Anything else to add on top of my little bit there? I think we're good.
That was good.
As of today, what is our liquidity wallet balance? Last week was awesome. Well, we're coming up on adding $2 million in gold to our next liquidity balance. That'll take us up to 5 million, a little over 5 million once we have the gold in hand. Once we have the gold, we're going to do some pictures and video. We'll write down the serial numbers, and then we're going to seal it up with our Beavis tamper evidence stickers and record all that photo evidence to the blockchain. Hi there, Val. Who do we talk to about location destination for your visit to Orlando? We have a perfect location for you and all that are coming. So look, the Florida team is a couple different teams right now. We've got Mitchell and Mandy. Mandy joins us on our Thursday night calls. We've got their whole organization down there. They've got lots of friends, lots of connections, lots of ideas. And then we also have Angelo. So you're going to want to connect with either Ranger Mitchell or Ranger Angelo to coordinate those perfect locations that you've identified. And thanks for helping out with that. Rudy, what happens to our own hash? Are the miners all sold after the miners are sold? The hash stays at about 100 million mega hash. I am shooting for 100 million mega hash, but like we're not going to be able to get exactly right there based on the fact that the L9s run at 16,500. So we're going to be right there about that. What happens to it? It stays there and runs for the next 135, 136 years. Doug says, I had a YouTuber with about 9K subscribers reach out to see if anyone from TexitCoin would be willing to do an interview for his channel. Is that something you or Robert Gaige would want to do? If not, I'm happy to team up with Steve Walsh to handle it. Doug, a couple things. First of all, I've got a pretty strict no influencer strategy. That stuff is going to come into play later. For now, as we're building the rocket ship, we want to steer clear of influencers for a real simple reason. We've got a growth strategy in mind, and we do not want to grow too fast. When we're looking at these charts, we're looking for these charts to kind of match, right? There's our slow decrease, and there is our slow kind of speedy increase, right? So if this chart goes hyperbolic, then this one does as well, but the wrong way, right? And so we're trying to plan our growth so that we have a nice, slow, steady curve all the way up to that 100 million mega hash. If we grow too fast, the mining output per seat drops off a cliff, and then everyone goes, well, hey, that sucks. I just put 9 grand in yesterday, and now I'm only getting like 1 coin a day. What gives? And so we don't want to pay right now for our coin to pop. We want it to pop someday. We'd prefer that to happen after the rocket's built. Is the awarded hash part of the total amount, or is it just the amount that's sold that's part of the total number? We've got 2 numbers on that chart. Remember, the first one is the sold hash power. This flat line is the sold hash power, and then our current installed hash power is the one that's jumping up and down. There's a third set of data that's not on here yet, and that's our purchased hash power. And you can rest assured, we got lots of people watching it now, that we've purchased more hash power than we've actually sold at the moment. And that'll be updated on that chart soon. Hey, yo, TexFM, how much of the weekly revenue is allotted to the liquidity? We've got 10% that goes into our liquidity. That is our standard number. As the income from selling mine seats ends, where will the income needed to run the mines and fund operations be generated? Good question. What we're probably going to do after that's all done is switch over to a percentage like all the other crypto mines, where we take a couple percent off the top, and that goes to our electricity and maintenance, or our maintenance. Remember, the electricity, we're hoping to mine enough Doge and Litecoin to pay the electric bill. Jennifer and Jason say Supernova ×2, Biohacker Red Light Bed, and Beamer PEMF. Good job, guys. Really, really proud of you. Jackie says, where can we get ball caps and t-shirts? Check with Larry Woodstock. Check with Davy Jones, Locker Mint. Where's the Supernova list? We published it. Where did we publish it, Gaige? Do you remember where that went? It went into
It was
one of the
under
Telegram groups.
networking and sales in the general chat, I believe.
Networking and sales. Thanks, man. Appreciate you remembering that. Andrea says, I posted our Silverbug team sales. Huge. More than 1 million. Great job. So excited and proud of all the team working tirelessly. Yes. Great job, Andrea. Thank you for that. The Crypto Warriors Telegram, a huge DeFi TG, is exploding with people asking questions about TexitCoin. Any hopes of wrapped TexitCoin being able to go cross-chain like Sui so we can get jiggy with some staking? Well, wrapped TexitCoin is available on ETH. What network do you need to see it on in order to do that fantastical stuff that you talk about? Why do I get like stuffy nose when I talk too much? You ever notice that? I need some like Vicks vapor rub or something. Seth writes, would TexitCoin be open to sponsoring professional gamers that stream for audiences online? I have a buddy interested who also owns a seat on the rocket. Yes, we are, but remember, we're not looking to really, really get too big too fast. 96.7 FM The Ticket. Heard that on the way. So get your streaming buddy over to Kristen, and we're just making a long list of all the things we're going to do once we're ready to step it up to the next level. How far behind are you on getting cold storage to miners? Someone had made a mistake on your side and accidentally created 2 accounts in my name. That's terrible. So I have not received the coins for the 3 pay centers I purchased. Your team did send me the cold storage coins for 1 account that does not have coins. They did not send the cold storage coins for the account where I paid $26K for my 3 pay centers. Contacted help desk, and they have not been very helpful. Can someone help? Maybe. I would reach out to Jen at blockchainmint.com. She runs the shipping department. And she might be able to help you. But we're about 2 weeks behind, 2.5 weeks behind. Angela says, so what is your optimal hash power are you aiming for? Get everything lined up and chug along at blah, blah, blah. So remember, we're going to build 100 million mega hash. The question is really more for you. it's pretty easy to go from 100 mega hash to 300 mega hash with the 1.2 free, right? If you do that inside the first 30 days, you jump from 100 to 300. That way, when the mine is all built, you've got 300 over 100 million mega hash times about times about 95,000 coins a day. That would give you 0.285 coins. At $16 a coin, it'd be worth about $5 a day, right? Now, remember, most important of all, we're not stopping at 16. But if we end up going from 16 up to the 2,800, the 0.285 times 2,800 would give you $800 a day, as opposed to dividing that by 3 and only getting $266 a day off the mine. Is that realistic? Is it possible? Look, guys, I can look you in the eye and I can tell you that I'm going to work hard for it. I can't tell you exactly where we'll get. I do believe that we should be a top 10 crypto. If we are a top 10 crypto, we should have a value. What would that put us at? Coin market cap. A top 10 crypto today is going to have a market cap of $30 billion. Okay, so if we've got a $30 billion market cap, and we do that by, that's 30 billion, let's say by 75 million coins, we would be at $400 a coin. So $400 a coin times the 0.095 that one seed is getting, it's about $40 a day. And again, that's for a very, very, very long time. So I would shoot to get your hash power up to a number where you're happy and comfortable if we're able to achieve those goals. Will the total daily mine coins increase after the switch flip? No. Our network is programmed to make about 95,000 coins a day. It may get a little bit better because we should be making a block every 3 minutes. Right now, we're averaging about 3.8 minutes. The network is programmed to make about 120,000 coins a day. We're not there, and we don't know why just yet. Now, once we get the mine built to a respectable level, then we can take a look at the mining output and see if we need to make an adjustment to get up to that 120,000. Andreas writes, if I transfer Texit coins from my hot wallet to Bitmart or exchange it there, Texit to USDC, it takes several dozens of minutes until those needed minimum confirmations are given. How could then Texit use it as a currency for daily payments in a supermarket if it would take so much time? Good question. Couple answers. Number one, the exchanges set the rules as to how many transactions they want to actually see, block confirmations, before they'll let it go. The more they trust our network, the fewer transactions they're going to need to see. Right. But again, on an average of 3.8 minutes, if they want 8 transactions, that's like 30 minutes. That's too long. Okay. So there's this thing called the mempool. And the mempool is where the transactions go while they're waiting to get confirmed into a block. And so a grocery store could look at the mempool as opposed to a block confirmation for a smaller amount transaction. So it could say like, okay, if somebody's paying less than $100, as soon as it hits the mempool, I'm going to let it go. They could take a look at the wallet that it came from and say, if this is just a small fraction of the amount that you have in your wallet, I'll let it go through instantaneously. Mempool transactions show up almost instantaneously. If you send from your TXC wallet to somebody else's TXC wallet and you refresh it, seconds after you send it, you refresh it and it's there. And so it's not confirmed yet, which means they can't spend it, but it can at least confirm, or it can at least be seen immediately. So we would say that for point of sale transactions, and again, this is the same way Litecoin works. For point of sale transactions, as soon as the transaction hits the mempool, the merchant's probably going to let it go. Tommy G says, as the size of the mine increases, does that mean the coin production also increased? No, we just covered that. Justin says, have we started the 4th and maybe the 5th liquidity coin? The 4th is going to be gold. It's not going to be on a coin. Will that be updated Path to 16 article? Yes, as soon as we have it there, you will see it. It might be nice to have a manual. Yes, we did not ship welcome kits with anyone after order number something, something, something. They are coming out very soon as the mission control manual and the new glossy brochure without the fun typo are ready to go. When this sells out and we move to Asia, you're moving to Asia? Will you crowdfund that? And can we be a part of that? And this will start all over again. Focus, my friends. We have a mine to build here in Texas. We will talk more about that after we get to 50%. Right now, we're coming up on 8%. Based on the 8/12 enrollment, what are the expected timelines on being caught up on the back office websites, assuming they tied to the mailed coin? I'm not sure what you mean about the 8/12 enrollment. What are the expected timelines on being caught up on the back office websites? All the websites go live right away. So as soon as somebody's account is activated, you should be able to log into your site and change your payout if you don't want to wait for the coin. I believe you made a links page that correlates to it all. Not sure what you mean, but it sounds
I
like
think
a good
that's
idea.
related
What
to the
about an
help
AI
desk.
agent chatbot for the help desk? No. We tried Bobby and he was terrible. He's like, oh, how do you sign up for TexitCoin? Just go to Coinbase. We're like, that's not the right answer. Once we have better information index, then maybe we can get into Bobby again. Lisa says, Dex trade not being listed on CoinMarketCap as a market option. Does this affect TexitCoin transaction report in any way? It does. It's a real setback, right? So Dex trade will not open up the API to CoinMarketCap, which will allow CoinMarketCap to start indexing the Dex trade data. That's really frustrating. The reason they won't do it is because our spread is too big. Right now, our spread is honest. And if we point our market maker at Dex trade to manipulate the market data so that the spread is smaller, then that unfortunately interferes with like the legitimacy of our market. And so we made the decision that we want Dex trade to be completely fair, completely open, completely honest. That means that Dex trade does not share our information with CoinMarketCap. Very frustrating, but it is 100% honest. We are looking for alternatives so that we can get ourselves onto CoinMarketCap with a verified listing. When you check out Google for Texas, it says we are a political movement. The success is linked to the secession movement. We might be better received without that aspect of prominence. Yes, we're working through that. Christian says, join today. Welcome. Looking for shareable PDF links to share via text. Is the website all that is needed? Yeah, that's all we got right now. I have peeps that are crypto investors, both novice and experienced. I want to share the concept looking for duplicatable forms. All that stuff is coming. It's coming soon. In the meantime, I would share with them the TexitCoin.org case for TexitCoin page video, which is my 17-minute version of the introduction. What are the promotions for the month of September? I don't know. Do we have a promotion?
I don't know of anything yet.
Man, I don't think we have a promotion yet. We're going to have to come up with a promotion. Gaige proposes a promotion, and that one was shot down. We're not doing free TexitCoin anymore. That was painful. It's like $300,000 of TexitCoin we had to give away.
So many people come up and got onto the rocket ship and started producing, though. It was
It
great.
worked well. I will say that it did work well, but we're running out of TexitCoin.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Right now we have a lot more TexitCoin buyers than sellers, and so I just don't have it. No. Is the discount still available if you add new miner from sponsor tab or the placement tree? Yeah, you get 5% off if you add them. That's called a peer payment, and it is still active. Our Monday calls recorded. Where can we view them? They usually are. I think I've got the recording for yesterday's call if you want it. Big Mike was recently asked, why are you so sold on TexitCoin? Big Mike's answer. At the core of any successful movement, there has always been a nucleus of individuals who deem the goal more important than themselves. We have this with our fearless leader and the team. Guys, you got to remember that I'm in this for me. I want to win and win big. I'm going to win the most in this deal. I'm going to be on a very, very big boat at the end. This is actually a funny story as well, because, my wife and I talk about like what the future looks like for us. We've always had three versions of the future, right? Version number one is it didn't work out. We're sleeping under a bridge in like Jakarta, hiding from all the people that want to kill me, right? That's version number one. It's the bad. It's the not good ending. Version number two, it all worked out exactly right, and we're on the back of the Maltese Falcon, the largest sailing vessel that can be run with a single person. And we're like cracking lobster tails and just like eating king crab legs, dipping them in butter, watching the Formula One cars go by in Monaco. Like, it worked out. We're billionaires. We did it. And then the third version is like, we did okay. No one's trying to kill us. We're living a good life. The bills are paid on time most of the time. And like, we drive nice cars and we're doing okay. Option number three is gone for us now. We've gotten to this point where we've wiped the normal, like, middle class
No Honda
future
Civic for you.
out of existence. It's burn the boats, man. It's either we're going for it and it works out, or the unhappy version. I want to paint the unhappy version picture for you again. I did that once. You can go back and watch the recording. But that's it. That's all we have today. We've crossed the bridge. The bridge is burnt. It's either filet mignons on the back of our boat for the rest of our lives, or we're hiding under a bridge in Bangkok, dodging creditors and hitmen and all the other stuff. So, guys, I want you to remember that I'm in this for me. I want to change the world. I want to leave the world a better place. I think that money is the way to do it. I think there are a lot of good people out there working on great causes. But I want to get rich while I do this. I want to be extremely well rewarded. So I want you guys to understand that I'm in this for me. I'm in it for me. I'm in it for my family. But I'm in it for you too, because I know that I'm not going to win big unless you guys win too. We have to win together, or I can't win at all. That's at the core of the equal exchange of value. I didn't see the rest of that question. It disappeared off the
sorry, I
screen here. Let me
cleared
see if
it
I can go
out
back and
for you.
find it from Big Mike. Where did Big Mike go? There he is.
I thanked Big
We have
Mike.
this with our fearless leader, an absolute unparalleled community. Yes, you're great. Why wouldn't I be sold? Where can you go to get a daily cash flow producing asset that, yeah, look, you're absolutely right, Big Mike. You've got good people here in our community. You've got good leadership here. And I'm not trying to be braggadocious as I talk to you about my boat, but I don't want you to think that I'm going into this out of the goodness of my heart. I don't want you to be misled and think that I'm going at some altruistic, save the planet strategy. I'm going into this because there's something big in it for me. I've locked my coins up. I'm not going to touch them for 5 years from when this project started. That's January 26, 2024. So we will have a coin cracking party for me January 26, 2029. And until then, I'm going to work hard, right? But I'm winning along the way as well, just like all of you are. So don't worry about me. I'm in this for both of us. Neil says, Bobby, on the mindtxc.com, it says under contact will not allow us to copy and paste our team members' email addresses. Is there any way we can easily copy each all? No. I want to keep in touch with my team, but it makes it a bit more challenging. Look, we're building a communication system into the payout system so that you can send bulk messages out to your community through the system. We don't want to give you their email addresses. Jerry says, I have been in many MLMs. I've never seen anything as awesome as this. Thanks, Jerry. It's funny your name is Jerry because I learned everything that I know about MLM from my friend Jerry Osteen. Jerry Osteen passed away last year, and I wish he could have seen what I did because I think he would have been very proud. Commissions for my wife and I over $30,000 our first month. And when the coin gets to $20 per coin, our first month of work will be worth more than $240,000. We love this. Thank you, Bobby, Byron, and Marcelo. Yeah. Look, there's a lot of people out there that are going to win, and they're winning now, and they're going to win very big later. Most of the network marketing guys, they kind of take the TexitCoin and they set it aside, and they're doing it because they get the weekly commissions, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. And then all of a sudden, TexitCoin jumps, and they go, I'm mining TexitCoin too. I forgot all about that. It's all good, guys. We've got great people finding this, and our system is set up so that the really terrible ones are kind of not interested. They kind of don't really like it because they know that we're going to, have a problem with them squeezing this thing in ways that they really shouldn't. Bobby, what color that Rolls Royce you found today? It's not found, my friend. It is purchased. I pick it up on Thursday. It's black and it's got a white interior, and you're going to love it. You're absolutely going to love it. Franco says, I feel like I'm listening to Bobby Axelrod, but real and not fictional. Yeah, that's why I actually switched over to Bobby. Full disclosure. I watched Billions. I thought it was great. I only watched like the first season or two. It got a little weird after that. Kind of like too sitcom-ish. You know what I really didn't like about it? Have you seen it, Robbie Roo?
No, I haven't seen it.
Pretty good show. Like they do like these references, like these historical references. They quote some weird thing. And like in the beginning I could keep up with them, but then they started getting like so far out there with their quotes. It's like nobody knows that. I don't know what circle you're hanging out in, but nobody knows what you're talking about. And it was like they were just trying too hard to sound exotic and like really special. I'm like, that's not how people talk. At least not how my people talk. But yeah, he was Bobby Axelrod. And I'm like, if he can pull off Bobby, I can pull it off too. Now, I was Bobby when I was very young. I specifically changed to a new school for grade 4 so I could switch from Bobby to Rob. Then some kid showed up from my old school after I switched and he was like, Bobby. And then all the kids were like, Bobby, Bobby, Bobby. And I was like mortified, right? And the worst is my middle name's Joe. So I'm Bobby Joe. That was even worse, right? Anyway, hit age like 40, 41, 42. And I said, it's time to bring back Bobby. Bobby's here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in, Franco. Heidel says 33 trillion national debt and growing will never be repaid. That's all debt. That's debt money. Money is issued as debt. You go to your bank, you sign a loan to get a car. They take that signature and they collateralize it with the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve gives that bank, that little credit union, the cash to give to you in your bank account in a bunch of zeros and ones. That money has to be repaid with interest. Wait a minute. If money starts as debt and you got to pay it back with interest, where does the interest come from? There's not enough money to pay off all the debt that we have. It's impossible. That's dishonest money. That's why we like crypto, because it's not issued by debt. We didn't borrow any money to start this. We didn't start with debt. We started with silver and gold coins. I sold my silver gold factory. I sold my machines to get this party started. You guys showed up with your cash and your silver and your gold. We have no debt. We made it through the hard part. We got to profitability. Now, frankly, it's quite easy to do what we're doing. But it didn't start with debt. They will never get out of their debt hole. They can't. They have to pay their debt back with more debt. There's not enough gold and silver on planet Earth to pay back that $33 trillion of national debt, if that's even it, or the other unfunded liabilities the federal government has. And we're just one federal government. We started with honest money at the core of our program, and it has paid us back 100-fold so far. Will turning on the BC40 raise the amount of coins? Same question. Okay. Hi, good night. I signed up someone from the USA on the 23rd. How long will this kit take? I don't think we're shipping kits yet. We're waiting for more glossies. When the containers was our same question. Best site for swag? I don't know. Good question. What exchange is TexitCoin on? We're on 2. We're on bitmart.com, which is not available to Americans unless you have a grandfathered account. And we're on dex-trade.com. You can also trade our wrap token, WTXC. You should be able to find that in MetaMask or Trust Wallet. Easy peasy. Anonymous Attendee writes, what happened to Mulligan Mint and the missing 4,000 pounds of silver? That's a lot of pounds. What happened with your involvement in the Free Lakota Bank fiasco? Not sure who you are, anonymous attendee. Doesn't sound like you're a minor. We've talked extensively about Mulligan Mint. If you jump into the philosophy and character chat, you can find the full version of that story. Check that out if you like. We went through a very terrible bankruptcy at the end of 2013, and I went to Asia to stay far away from the fraud that was happening and to rebuild my life, which I did. And unfortunately, the Free Lakota Bank was involved in that fiasco, et cetera, et cetera. But do your research, do your due diligence. If you want to come here and hassle me about it, then you are on the wrong rocket ship. I have a friend who was burned for over $1 million in a crypto scam. What would you say to him being weary with only one person? Well, that's a really interesting thing because I hate hearing about people losing $1 million on deals, right? Hopefully your friend's worth $100 million and that was 1% of their net worth. But I would really encourage you and everyone else to be extremely careful with, any kind of risk that you take. If it's not a comfortable risk, then you shouldn't be taking it. If you can't disappear that money tomorrow and still live your life and take care of your obligations and your family, then it's not money that you should be putting in. If they were putting in that much money, number one, they probably have a lot of money. Or number two is maybe they made a bunch of money in the deal and just didn't get out at the right time. None of these projects go on forever and ever and ever. Some of them, start small like Bitcoin and then get up to $20,000 a coin back in 2017 and then drop down to $3,000. That's an 85% drop. So, part of any good deal is knowing when to get in and knowing when to take some profit so that you cover, your initial startup expenses. It's pretty easy in mining TexitCoin to put in $1,000 to dip a toe in the water, to bring on your 1-2 free, and to triple your mining output, have a team leader or somebody that sponsors you, build out your other side, and then you can also get $1,000 as well. So It's a pretty short path to get back your initial investment. And we want to caution anyone to always make good decisions with money that they put at risk. So after they fill out the ACH form and submit it, we are supposed to follow up with an onboarding. I'm not really sure. Again, remember that happens through a third party. That doesn't happen through us. And so we'll have to encourage the people that are getting those forms through the ACH to be very careful about specific placement requests. But again, double check your placement, see if anything changed, or if it's not in the right place, then send an email to placement@mindtxe.com. Rick says, we're not far off from 1 coin a day now. What are we to be expecting? Well, remember, we're growing. Last week we grew by 1 million mega hash. And that's a big chunk. If we do that for the next 2 weeks, then we'll be at 1 coin a day for 1 seat very, very, very soon. And so I want you guys to be comfortable with what those milestones are so that you're not surprised as your coin output is dropping down. What we encourage everyone to do when you're getting involved is to think about how much you're willing to put at risk and then make the best decision with what you pick up. The maximum that anyone's allowed to do now is the backdoor 27, plus that gives you the ability to pick up $27,000 worth of coins when you first enroll. But if you want to grab 1 seat for $1,000 and then grab the 1,000 TXC along with it, then that gives you the best of both worlds. Sorry, not 1,000 TXC, $1,000 worth of TXC along with it. But again, that gives you a handful of coins to start the journey. So that way you're not caught flat footed if the market pops sooner rather than later. And you also have a mining seat so you can participate in our rewards program and our fun and exciting community. Jeff says, I would expect the daily token rewards to decrease daily as new hash power comes on, but occasionally I see the daily reward go up. Well, remember, the daily reward is all over the place. And so what you really need to do is take a look at the mining output, and that should give you at least a better understanding of what to expect. So here's the total amount of TexitCoin that are shared. If you look at it on a weekly basis, you can see some highs. This week was 98,000. Average this week was 91,000. So far this week, we're very, very low because the week is new. But last week was 95,000, which is about average. Again, if you look at it over a month, then you're seeing 94,000, 94,000, 93, 95, 94. And so we're hoping that as the mine gets bigger and more reliable, we'll see some of these peaks and valleys level out a little bit. And hopefully that helps to explain why the daily output jumps or falls. All right, let's go back to Q&A. Are we getting close to the bottom, Robbie Roo?
We're getting closer, but you know how the questions turn into like little gremlins of just keep kind of.
Have you document from TSSB Authority for Mining? Asking this question for a friend. I don't know what TSSB is. I'm sorry, I don't think we have that in our country. If miner added himself, can the left and right be adjusted? Yeah, we can do it manually. Craig says Sunday my 3K TXC commission was paid to only 1 miner, even though I received an email from my 2 miners. Each miner qualified for 3K. Is this just a delay? No, probably not. I thought all TXC commissions were sent all at once, usually on Tuesday or Wednesday. I think we did them on Monday, but you're going to want to reach out to commission@mindtxe.com and figure out what that other spot was. It's possible that the other spot was switched over to hash or is waiting for USDC, which is the default. Want to buy a wrapped Mach 1 for the game over giveaway? Send pics, Mason. Let's see it. What do you got? Are there plans to modernize our tree chart so we can use it more and see the network clearer? Yeah. The tree uses a lot of computing power. We're rebuilding the architecture now so that we can scale it better. Ryan here, with these new units being installed, if the grid goes down, what happens? I'm a local North Texas business owner at Mojo Electric and Solar, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, talk to the boys in the mining department. Our strategy is to diversify the locations of the mine so that if the grid goes down, we've got more mining power somewhere else. But right now we're relying totally on Texas. So we don't really want to add a lot of solar because it's expensive, or wind because it's expensive, or generators because they're expensive. We're really hoping that the decentralized strategy for the mine build out is going to be what we need in order to be reliable. Brian says, I get that people do not understand how they can start mining the day they sign up instead of when the mine grows enough to accommodate their buy-in. What is a good way to answer this question? No. They start mining the day they sign up. When do you think TXC will be trading on Coinbase and Kraken? We're hoping by like January, February of next year. We got to be big enough. We need to have $1 million of daily trading volume and 100,000 people following us on Twitter. Help us get there. When I win the sports car, will I need to drive to Texas to get it? No, we'll probably have it there, and I think we're going to do shipping to get it to you. Hi, Brig. Carpe diem. Let's seize the moment. Grateful to you and the team for this limitless opportunity. It's really my pleasure, and thanks for being here. I'm sorry, did I miss the answer to the $50 discount still available? Yeah, Joe, that's through the peer payment. So if you add somebody through your back office and you pay for them while you're putting them in, then you get a 5% discount. Reach out to me on Telegram for swag, says Justin. It can be printed on. I can get it to you. Where did you say I see your version? I am a minor, but I don't feel sure about you. I'm not sure what that means. If all these mines are being bought and hash capability is growing, then I don't understand why it would drop off. Well, because your slice of the pie gets smaller. If you buy 100 mega hash and your 100 is a fraction over the 8 million mega hash that we have now, if the mine grows to 10 million, that fraction, that piece of the pie gets smaller. That's why the output decreases. Travis says, how can you get backdoor 27 hash power and 27,000 coins? That was a little bit of a loophole that somebody brought to our attention. They said, hey, if I log into my second and third spots, I can add up to 9 on each one of those. And we go, huh, interesting. Because the spots are transferable and people have sold those spots, it means that it may not even be you that's adding them. So instead of trying to police it and stop any and all creativity, we said, okay, people are going to add to those other spots. So you can log into your other spots or you can contact the office and you can add up to 9 plus 2 right now on your second spot, 9 plus 2 on your third spot. And then because of that, we'll let you buy $27,000 worth of coins. Reach out to the office or to your sponsor or to your ranger or to your ranger support, and let's figure out how to do that. Ooh, man, we're coming up on the end of the questions. We're not even at 2 hours yet. Amanda says, our goal is 100 million mega hash sold and or awarded. Sold or awarded, Amanda, that's right. The last 100 mega hash bought is the last seat, correct. Yes, we're talking about 1 million seats. Those seats can be sold, they can be earned, they can be awarded. We gift those seats out as bonuses from time to time. Like if you get a license plate on your car for a TXC, we'll give you a seat, right? For the duration that you've got that license plate on there. So yes, it's 1 million seats. How do we know these mines are real? Wouldn't you only need one miner instead of multiple miners per individual? Yeah. So the way you know it's real, first of all, is by coming out and putting your finger in the soup. But no, you need more miners. The bigger the mine, the more reliable and trustworthy the network is. That's the whole thing about cryptocurrency. In traditional banking, you've got a mainframe computer that's holding all the data, centralized. In crypto, you're decentralizing all that information and spreading it out across hundreds or thousands or millions of computers across the globe. In TexitCoin, we're spreading that out across 35 megawatts of processing power across the state. That's our plan. I'm a minor. How do I enter to win the car? Well, that's a really good question. So, first of all, based on the game over giveaway, the rules are the top 10 miners, which is number of people you sponsor times the points for those people equals your total point value. The top 10 people are going to get the 10 best cars. Maybe they could pick other cars. We're probably going to have something around 30 cars available for giveaways. So the 10 top miners, number one is going to get the Lambo or Brig. Maybe they're going to take the Rolls Royce. But the number one is going to be given free and clear to the top miner from week 72 to week 78. Then the top second through 10th will get to choose in order which car they want to take next. And that's why we're going to have them all on display so you can get in them, fire them up, rev the engines, check out the features, see if it's got Android Auto or not, and make a good decision for yourself. We're going to have lots of normal-ish cars there too. We just bought a Mercedes C43 AMG today. Beautiful car. 76,000 bucks for that car. It'll make a really great sedan for somebody that's looking for something on, just a normal get around town kind of car. They're all going to be wrapped, and it's going to be absolutely glorious as they're on display for you to come and celebrate our party in Austin, whatever that date is. Austin, August or September, October 18th, Saturday night, the night before the F1 race. Let's see. How do I get a TXC license plate? I'm in Arizona. You'll have to check with your Department of Motor Vehicles or whatever you guys call it over there. How do I get? Okay, that's it. Done.
Done.
Saturday or Tuesday night. Easy. It's only 8 o'clock. Look, guys, no more ice cream for me. I'm on a diet. Got to get myself all handsome. I'm doing the no carb thing. Call me the TexitCoin carnivore. That's it, guys. Really great week again this past week. Thank you so much for all the hard work. Remember, we're tripling up the Supernova bonus. If you guys hit Supernova, it's worth $3,000 for you this week. Thank you. I really appreciate all of you. I will catch you guys back here on Thursday for a welcome to mining TexitCoin and TexitCoin introduction with me and a couple of our Rangers. And we'll catch you guys again soon. I'm Bobby Graham, the founder. That's Robbie Rue. He's my number 2. He's making sure I hold the ship together over here and doing a great job assisting in that endeavor. You guys have a wonderful night, and we'll talk to you guys again soon.